does it mean to build a legacy on your own terms? Welcome to Legacy Her Way. This is the podcast where where women define, build, and live legacy on their own terms. Hi, I'm your host, Tanya Hendrix. Each week, we dive into real stories, fresh strategies, and inspiring conversations that help you create a future that reflects who you are and what you value most. This is about legacy, your way. This episode is sponsored by Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer, where we empower your vision and secure your future through estate planning and trademarks. So let's talk legacy, her way, your way, and today, Donalta Hall's way. Today's guest is someone who is building her legacy and that of others. Donalta Hall is an agent with a Hall team. Donalta has over 30 years of combined real estate and investment experience. She combines the local market expertise and strategic investment approach. She does this combination to help her clients. She and her husband moved to Huntsville, Alabama from Toronto in 2024 and have not just enjoyed living in Alabama, enjoying the weather, but they have thrived here with their business, the Hall team. So welcome to the show, Donalta.
Hi, thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm excited for you to be with us today. And what I want to do is give you a chance to talk a little bit about yourself so the audience knows who Donalta is. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, as you mentioned, I moved from Toronto, Canada, where my husband and I were born and raised. We lived there our entire lives. We moved from there to Huntsville in 2024, and it's been a very exciting and rewarding experience. Huntsville's really embraced us. We previously come from big city life. And we've always been into real estate investing. I was a Fortune 500 consultant. My husband worked in the government. And by all intents and purposes, we made it. We did the things. We had the jobs, we had the house, all of those things. But life was very mundane. There wasn't really any purpose, right? We're just going through the motions. And, you know, we thought that, we would be able to do certain things and it would kind of be easy sailing from then, have a few investments. But the economy in the world is really changing and it's changing fast. So we had to adapt and we saw Huntsville as like the perfect opportunity for our real estate investing and business. We're very passionate about helping families build wealth through real estate, and we support them throughout the entire process. I'm an agent with EXP. My husband's also an agent. But we also provide additional services to our clients. It's really that one-stop shop. We help people secure funding because a lot of times they don't even know that they can qualify for a mortgage. They may think it's home ownership is out of their reach, and there's so many programs, there's so many opportunities available. So we assist with that. My husband's also a mortgage agent, and we help them find properties that they can buy, invest in, and help build and start that legacy. But we take it a step further because we have the privilege of helping people in this really exciting time in their lives when they're getting a home. But we've also seen the flip side of that when unexpected things happen and they weren't prepared. And so we help also protect their assets, fund their life and their retirement, because sometimes people don't really think past that. So providing insurance and mortgage protection, as well as wealth building strategies that they can use to grow their legacy and pass it on and keep those things within the family. And the last tier of that is that estate planning piece, where we work with partners like you to connect our clients to people who can plan their estate. And that just really encompasses everything.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to the point that you're consulting with Fortune 500 companies. Your husband's got a job in the government. You said that y'all thought y'all had made it. For all intents and purposes, you had made it. I'm using the air quotes for those listening and not seeing it. I'm using the air quotes. You made it. But then you're like, this is mundane. So tell us about that pivot. I mean, because that's a drastic change to go from, Fortune 500 consultations. Your husband had a stable job with the government to then go into an entirely different direction and then move. I mean, move from the place you'd been forever, and move to Huntsville, which is a great place to live, but that was a major pivot. So what went into making that decision to pivot?
Yeah, so really what went into making that decision was life where we were. The average cost of a home was $1 million. And so we had friends, we had family who, everybody's working, everybody's trying to do the thing. And we're also a part of an investment community where we invest in real estate. And like we said, we help people with wealth. And there are very limited opportunities just with the costs of things and new policies that were being put into place. So we were looking at other markets. We had invested internationally before, and we're doing some investments already in the US, in the Cleveland area. And we wanted to expand that. And that's how we kind of stumbled upon Huntsville. We had come down for a business trip, an exploratory visit. We really liked the place. And it's somewhere where we feel we can create, there's a lot of opportunities.
Mhm.
It's kind of like how Toronto was 20 years ago. So we kind of see the trajectory of the development and what's to come, because we've seen that happen where we were from, where it was like a smaller city, and how it really grew into a mega city and a world class city. And those things are happening here. There's always growing pains in terms of
Mhm.
infrastructure, and things keeping up, but it's it's a really amazing place. Even where it offers opportunity for veterans, retirees, having one of the lowest have like taxes for retirees. It's allowing people to shift from more expensive markets like Florida. It's just a really primed for real estate, primed for investing, and there's the need.
Mhm.
I don't think people realize what a great market it is. So we just kind of want to spread the word. And everybody's always looking for something fresh and new. I know for those people who are from Huntsville, they may not see the opportunities here, but bringing in that fresh perspective, and with all the transplants, we're also changing the mindset of locals and having them see opportunities in their market as well too.
Mhm. You are in this new market, you're in a new and different season of life and a totally different place in your life and totally different career than what you were in. So now, I mean, when you were talking earlier, you said that you quote unquote made it. So you had one sense of success. Then what is your sense or your idea of success now as you're sitting here in Huntsville, Alabama?
Yeah, so the success has really changed for me. Um, it's changed to not focus so much on the job, right? We were very much, focused on our careers. We did the things, we went to school, we did the things.
Mhm.
Um, but there's always something new. And while I'm making my shareholders rich, um, and I made a lot of investors money, by helping them, I want to be able to have a greater impact. And that's what we were able to find here, really. The community, everybody was just so welcoming. Everybody's open. And so it was just an opportunity where, one, we can help the people we know at home, internationally, and we can also service the community. We've gotten really involved in our local church, and they welcomed us right away. We felt at home, we felt like family, and these are the people we serve. I've always had goals to do youth scholarship. My husband wanted to build a music citadel. I don't even know what that is. Um, but I don't know. It was like we came to this place and it just kind of felt right. The numbers made sense. The
Mhm.
people made sense. And we just see the opportunities and the appreciation for kind of who we are and what we have to offer. And life is of a slower pace. We get to enjoy more. It's not as go, 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 uh, which is great. There's lots to do in Huntsville and
Mhm.
more coming up every day. But also too, uh, there's Huntsville's unique,
It is, yeah.
sometimes I don't have the words to describe it, but there's also this like laid backness. You'll go to the grocery store and, people chit chat. And it's not just the high level small talk. They'll actually remember when you see them again. Um, so yeah, it's a really good place to connect with people from all over.
It is, and I know when I look through your social media in preparation for this interview, you talk a lot about in your videos about the moving to Huntsville, and you experience that, so you know what that's like. So, as you are doing your videos, all your content, I mean, you're speaking from experience of what it's like to move from someplace totally different to Huntsville, Alabama, which I was born and raised in Alabama. I'm used to the Southern hospitality. I'm accustomed to how people are very friendly and welcoming and opening. But I also, in my profession, I talked to a lot of people who have moved here from other places and they were scared to move here. They didn't know what it was going to be like. And they come here and they learn, like, oh, well, wow, we love this place. People are friendly and they're welcoming. And so I think you getting the word out about that is really helpful because people do sometimes have a sense of, is Alabama safe? Is it safe for me to move to Alabama? And then Huntsville, Alabama, what is it like? So I appreciate you getting the word out that it's safe to move to Alabama. It's a good transition, and that yes, you found it to be as welcoming and opening as you have found it. So that's appreciate you sharing that.
You're welcome.
Now, in that, you've pivoted, you've moved into a completely different country. What have been some of those, as welcoming and friendly as people have been, business is hard, moving to another place is hard. What are some of the unexpected pivots or the unexpected hard won lessons that you've learned through this transition in your life?
That's a great question. I think the most challenging thing is not having that, I guess, safety net,
Mhm.
and it's been a lot of spiritual work, actually. Just that relationship with God and what we're trying to build is bigger than ourselves. We don't know, how to do all of the things we want to support people with. And we've been blessed to be able to meet all the right people, get all the right partnerships,
Mhm.
and get the support we need to help push this vision forward. And that work has been not relying on what I can do and who I know, because I came here knowing nobody. Um, God has just, paved a way for what we're trying to do and the people we're trying to serve here. And, with the community and with our church has really helped us grow spiritually so that we have the strength and stamina to pursue this vision. And yeah, that has been the hardest thing. It's also been the most rewarding thing.
Mhm.
And it's there's been a bunch of tiny miracles where blessings come from the most unexpected places, the most unexpected people,
Mhm.
um, and I'm just here for it. I just want to see what else is gonna come. It can only get better, right? Like,
Yes, absolutely. So how I mean, I know real estate can be cutthroat, and the markets that you're in, the things that you're doing, some of the people can be very cutthroat, can be underhanded, can just be mean. So as you are as you're navigating the real estate world and the community in Huntsville, and I know there's some great real estate agents too. Don't get me wrong. I know I have a lot of great friends who are real estate agents. So, but I know the industry can be cutthroat. What are you doing, or how do you stay anchored to your values as you are in this market and growing your business and trying to make the impact you're trying to make?
I've actually found that our core values has been a key differentiator for us. The things that we do for our clients aren't necessarily the status quo in Huntsville. Maybe it's just coming from a a big city and having that kind of competition built in, but we've gone really hard on our social media because we didn't have a sphere. So we wanted to get the word out there, meet as many people as possible. We network a lot.
Mhm.
And I think it's just really about, creating those connections. It's been completely different. And you're right, it is a cutthroat industry. But I think just having, strong values, we've met really great agents who are really supportive. And so many people have helped us in our career since we've started here that like I don't have that experience. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I know people say, just like you said, like, Alabama could be this way or that way. I think it might be the energy we put out. I don't know, but I feel like I've just been really fortunate to attract the right type of people. Um, and I think, just doing the right things and having the right intentions has helped. We provide turnkey services, for our clients. We deal with a lot of people who are experiencing major transitions in their lives, whether they're moving from a whole new state, country with their families, whether they are downsizing and that clean out process,
Mhm.
or a family member has passed away and they need to clear out their estate. There's a lot that is involved,
Mhm.
and having gone through it and knowing kind of what to do, those are services we offer our clients. We help them prep for the move, do the clean out, all of that, and really handle everything for them. And it's something that's really valued because a lot of times what is holding people up is that, again, they just don't know. They don't have the resource. They don't know, who's going to help. And sometimes the clients are even suspicious, like, oh, how much is this going to cost me? Is this a scam? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's all right. It's just something different. It's something new, but it's, it's not a scam. Like, we're here to help. Um, and that's just what we do. We provide full service. Like, everybody's looking for somebody to trust. And if we can build a relationship with you, we have people that we work with that we trust. And it takes away that having that time spent having to research and find these people all on your own. Everybody we work with has been vetted. They have great reviews. You can get referrals from other people from them, like people such as yourself. So that are kind of like the guarantees that we provide with the Rolodex that we've built up, so that, despite how other people may do their business, um, we're here. We show up with integrity and good vibes.
Yes, you do. And I can attest that you have worked with some of my clients on some matters with selling homes, clearing out homes, and just rave reviews from them. So I can certainly attest to that. And I appreciate you taking care of my clients. That's, when you are building a business, particularly if you're new, because, local people are a little suspicious of people who have moved in. And so when you're building your business, it is important to build that network of people that you can trust, that will take care of your friends, your neighbors, your clients. So speaking of that, you've talked about your values. What are those values and how does your work, and you kind of answered this, but how does your work actually reflect those values?
Yeah. So our are just integrity, transparency, and, you know, treating your neighbor like you want to be treated. It's really that simple. And we understand, again, the challenges that hold people up when they're going through these different processes. Um, and it's a matter of just meeting people where they are. Sometimes people need more time. Sometimes it takes a while before they trust you.
Yes.
uh, and it's a matter of just showing up consistently, doing what you say you're going to do, when you're going to do it. And over time, the walls get let down. And that's why we take the opportunity to, once we've established that relationship, to not only help them with the asset, but help start the conversations to protect the asset.
Mhm.
Um, because that is a lot of times where, a part that's missed. And you see today, GoFundMe's because, people haven't prepared, or they potentially lose their house in probate, which we also see if they don't have their appropriate planning. So,
Mhm.
seeing this happen is something that we want to avoid at all costs. Like, we see the happiest times, but then we also see the sad, and to know that, these things could have been avoided had they had known, had somebody taken the time to tell them. And that's where we step in. Where it's just about education, coming from a place of, caring, having the same goals that they have, of wanting to protect and care for their families, and that's where we lead from. And that is how our services were kind of born and our network were kind of born, is coming from that place of acquisition and protection, right? We want to help you, not only get that house, but be able to save the house, the place where you can retire. If you have to transition out, like how are you going to be able to fund that? And if this is an asset you want to be able to pass down to your children or grandchildren, how do you do that in the most cost effective way possible so that they don't lose the asset? And that's just our goal.
So, what all services do you offer? I know you sell real estate. You do provide some counseling for clients, for your customer, for your clients, as to how to protect properties. But what exactly are you doing? What
Yeah.
services are you providing?
Yeah, so my husband and I were both licensed real estate agents. My husband also does mortgages and insurance. So those are the assets we provide, and we provide referrals to our different partners when it comes to whether their property needs construction, if they are looking for downsizing and cleanup, if they are looking for seniors placements or estate planners, financial advisors as well too, if they, to plan for uh, any funds that they may receive for a sale. So ourselves, what we do in house is real estate, mortgages, and insurance, and everything else we've built a network for to be able to refer out and support our clients.
Okay. Have you thought about your legacy? And if so, what does legacy mean to you?
Yes, I have thought about my legacy.
Mm.
My legacy, I think, what how I want to be remembered is just as like of service in my community. I want to leave something that lives beyond my life. And I think, for me, that will be the families that I'm able to help, the children that are growing up now that are going to get, more than their parents had originally planned for, and their children, hoping that some of those lessons can be passed down. And, I'd love to have a scholarship fund where we, continue to help students with whatever we've built up in our life, and also goals one day to build a sound citadel. I don't know what that is, but something to do with music, where people who are studying for music, I don't know, they can play music. I guess I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of what it means to me. At least those are my goals in terms of how I plan on leaving my legacy.
So I mean, I've been listening to you talk about what you're building. It sounds like you really want to help people build that generational wealth, so that
Absolutely.
they can leave things to their families that, as you just said, they didn't know would be possible or didn't think would be possible. And so that's what you're trying to build, and that's a legacy, to help others build that generational wealth. So, what or who shaped your understanding of legacy as you were growing up?
Um, I think a key thing for me growing up is, I was a first generation Canadian, so home ownership was really important to my parents. So that's kind of where I got the ideas about real estate. Also, real estate just always made sense to me in terms of people need a place to live, and owning real estate just makes sense. I don't know, it just kind of always did. So I had a goal. I wanted to own property that could kind of pay for itself. And so, we did some investments, kind of accomplished that goal. And I also see how, a lot of people miss out on the opportunity to own real estate, not because they can't, but just because they don't know how.
Mhm.
So I want to be able to help people with that, right? So what really shaped it is just, coming from a first like immigrant background, and just looking at what made practical sense. I think that it's a really accessible vehicle,
Mhm.
uh, and a tangible asset that people can use to build generational wealth.
Understanding a little bit more of your background, your history coming from Canada to the US, starting going from one business to another. You've done a lot of things, you've accomplished a lot of things. You're helping people build, like, as you're building your legacy, you're helping other people build their legacies. But what is one thing that you're doing now that you wish more women knew they could do?
Absolutely. The one thing that I'm doing now that I wish more women knew they could do was to get a life insurance policy and plan for their retirement. A lot of people have great jobs and their work offers them, sometimes a life insurance policy. They're paying into their 401ks, their Roth IRAs, and different retirement plans. But I think that people aren't planning for what happens next. And, and so I think that is really important. One, to protect themselves in the sense of, people are living longer these days. A lot of women too, that they don't have children. So how are they planning to care for themselves? If one, maybe their children, like, don't even live close by, right? So just having that preparedness of how they're going to use the assets that they build in their lifetime, or the choice to build assets in their lifetime that they can then use for their senior care, and unexpected expenses. I talk to people and they sometimes think they're going to work until they die. Um, and while, it would be great, the fact of the matter is a lot of people get sick first.
Mhm.
Um, so what are you planning on doing? And so just preparing for that, investing in these, building these assets and investing in these policies that will make sure that you're cared for, should anything happen, I think are key. And a lot of these policies can be used within your lifetime. So you can use it while you're alive, not just when you pass away. And then also, having that legacy and healthcare plan, um, an estate plan, if they choose to own property, to make sure that they're covered. I just think that that's what many women should do. I mean, I myself, I don't have children. I know a lot of my friends don't have children, and who's gonna, and even if you're married, usually the men die first.
Mhm.
So how are you going to plan for that last phase and transition? And I think that's what we need to focus on next.
Yeah, and I think that's where our worlds kinda intersect, yours and mine, in that we both encourage people to plan. I mean, I think having a just starting and having a plan, preparing for the future, preparing for tomorrow, preparing for the future is just critical. I mean, we can't sometimes it's fun just to fly by the seat of our pants, but we do need to have a plan in place when it comes to our futures because we don't know what may happen. We don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We don't know if we're going to have a car accident the next day and then what happens or a spouse has the, car accident the next day. So I think we are on the same page obviously, and this is where we can connect and encouraging the listeners to have a plan in place to prepare for the future. What is your advice on maybe the first step for someone to prepare for that future?
I think the first step is, look at where you are and look at you where you want to be. Um, just even having that awareness will give you insight on what that next step is.
Mhm.
And because having that awareness, you're going to identify the gaps and then reach out to people. Consultation is free. It doesn't hurt to talk to people. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody who wants to talk about it. No obligation, no commitment. It's just about sharing the information. I know you are too. And just be informed, be honest about your situation. Sometimes I talk to people and I don't know, they're embarrassed. They don't want to share the details. But in order to get the help you need, full transparency, it's hard to do everything alone. We're not experts in
Right.
everything ourselves. Like, I'm not a financial planner, I'm not a lawyer,
Mhm.
so have that transparency. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you don't have to do it alone. There are people who will happily help you. So just reach out and let's make it happen.
Do you think that there for someone to reach out, for someone who has been in, maybe they're embarrassed. I have people come to my office all the time that they're in their 40s or their 50s or 60s and like, I've never done estate planning before. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed. Are there Do you have an idea or you have a recommendation of a mindset shift or maybe a change of a habit that people need to take in order to take that first step of reaching out for a consultation with you or me or financial advisor or whoever it may be so that they can start making those preparations and plans for the future?
Absolutely. I think the key mindset shift is to really, you know, I think we have this expectation of ourselves that, aren't really realistic. And if you look at people who are very, very successful, the key difference is they are okay saying that they don't know. They rally to advisors. They rally to different people on their team. Any CEO, they hire a finance person. They hire an operations person. They don't do it all themselves. Nobody great does it alone, whether you're in sports, whatever. So I think we need to, that's the key shift in the mindset. Being an independent woman is great,
Mhm.
but independent women need support systems to maintain their independence. So reach out. Like Oprah don't make all of her decisions alone. Michelle Obama, like whoever, you know what I mean? Right? Like whoever, Mel Robinson, whoever, right? So everybody has a team of advisors. All the people that we're
Mhm.
looking up to have advisors. So follow their
Exactly.
lead.
Exactly. We can't, I mean, yes, it's great to be an independent woman, but we do need to have some advisors. And I know you're a person of faith. The Bible repeatedly tells us to have good advisors,
Hmm. Hmm.
good counselors, good people full of wisdom around you that who can give you the good advice and steer you in the right direction. Okay, I do want to, if people are ready to reach out and people want to get in touch with you, how do they find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on social media, whether that's Instagram or TikTok, Donalta Hall, or you can call us directly at our line, 256-870-3778. And hallteam.pro is our website. So check us out.
Well, thank you so much, Donalta, for your wisdom, for your encouraging words for people, and just sharing your heart and your passion for what you do. I think a lot of people they see real estate agents as wanting to make money, which I mean you do. You got to support your family, but you have a passion behind it. You have a heart behind it, and you're trying to help people build that generational wealth. As you are building your own legacy, you're helping other people build theirs. And I applaud you for that. And I hope that the listeners hear that in you and that they will reach out to you at hallteam.pro or on your socials, as you mentioned. So thanks again for joining me today, Donalta. I was excited that you were here today. And for those of you listening, thank you for joining us on Legacy Her Way. If today's conversation spoke to you, share it with a friend and make sure you're subscribed so that you can get all the latest episodes of Legacy Her Way. And the other thing is, if you like this episode, give us a 5-star review. That helps people find the content that you are finding enjoyable, helpful, and encouraging. This has been Legacy Her Way. Share it, subscribe, and most of all, keep defining your legacy your way. Bye.